Cause remember, even though the times may change, I won't corrupt, said it, nigga. And I'm calling out names. All y'all.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Glenn Lawrence, and I'm back with another one. Man, today I got to do two though. See, I got a twofer for you guys, and you know me, I'm all about coming correct. If we're gonna say something, we're gonna be about something. We need to present facts. We need to come correct. And if there's people not coming correct, I'm gonna call them out. Everybody knows that. At the end of the day, if you're not coming out correct, I'll call you out. And so that's exactly what's gonna happen. I'm going to get through the easy one first because the other one's a little longer and it has more history and more bullshit to deal with. Let's just say that. So, Sauce, I'm sorry. We got to talk. I'll and preach. Don't worry. I got you next. Sit tight. All right, Sauce. So, I watched the end of the show. I watched the whole show. And I was listening to your address about, the situation. And can we just be in agreement and just say, like, that situation really didn't, there was something off with it. There was something really wrong. Like the flavor wasn't there, right? Like if it was something like a nice marinara sauce, right? Like you could just tell something is missing. It's just like it doesn't taste well because not all the ingredients were in there. And just like spaghetti sauce, like a nice, good marinara sauce, in order for it to taste amazing, you have to put all the ingredients in there. So, since I'm Italian and I'm going to be here to help you out with your lack of ingredients. So I'm going to add some ingredients that you.
I don't know about that. I like that. Okay. And that's it for Super Chats. Thank you all for the Super Chats. We appreciate them. We do acknowledge them. And if we don't acknowledge them, the chat gets to see it and you guys get to respond to it. So we appreciate it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel, value payment money. And let's move on to our last topic for Friday.
Let's just let's not just be so quick to move on. We need to cover something here, all right? Because this actually is part of the problem. And that is the way Natalia explained the Super Chats. Natalia, nobody is paying money to send a chat for people in the chat to read. Okay, because you understand that people in the chat could read all the chats because they're all in there. People are paying for Super Chats to get you to acknowledge them, get you to read them. That's what they're paying them for. They're not paying for other people in the chat to read them because they're already going to be read. If people are in the chat and they're chatting away, they're looking at the messages. They're responding to the messages that are in the chat. Now, you guys are busy because you guys are doing the show. You can't keep track of every single, message, right? So for people to want to get your attention and get you to, respond to a message, they pay for that shit. And that costs them their good, hard-earned money. So I think your mentality on how people should view chats need to change, because if I'm sending money and I'm paying for this thing for you to respond, that's the arrangement that you have with your viewers. Hey, you guys pay for a Super Chat. We will answer your question in the Super Chat, or we will, address your Super Chat. We'll say something about your Super Chat. We'll either answer a question or respond to a statement. Whatever the case is, that's what they're there for. People don't just send Super Chats, pay money for Super Chats for you don't react to. That's not the way things work. And yeah, how there are going to be times where you're not going to be able to get to all the Super Chats. Absolutely. And that, that's not the goal. We don't want that to happen, but the super chats are not they're never intended for the other people in the chat to read. They're intended for you to acknowledge and make a remark or answer the question. So now that we got that out of the way, because that's going to come up later, and I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page there. All right, moving on.
Thank you for reading the super chats, Kelly. Yes. Thank you for everything you're doing. I want to basically take a second to address some drama that we've had here indirectly.
Yes.
It was actually a drama that I wasn't fully even aware of.
Yeah.
And I kind of got brought into it. People were like, hey, are you going to respond to what's happening? I'm like, what's happening? Well, you didn't do this. Nat didn't read super chats. I'm like, I wasn't even aware. So, of course, if you watch Soscast, you know that we were referring to our old friend, Rollo Tomasi. Now, Rollo is someone that I've done a ton of content with and actually genuinely respect. I don't have hate towards Rollo. I don't have drama towards Rollo. Yeah. If anything, Rollo likes to create drama is what I've realized, okay? And if there's anything that I'm not trying to be a part of, it's red pill drama. Yep. So this is something that wasn't really even going to address, but when I see Rollo doing episodes or segments, not only talking shit about me, talking shit about PBD, but more importantly, the Valuetainment brand, I'm not going to play for that. So let me just address what happened, or at least what I think perceived as happening.
Yeah.
And then we can do that. So we had a guy on a couple of weeks ago, this guy, John Anthony. He came on. He's claimed to slept with 1,500 people. This is someone that was booked months in advance.
Yes.
We have an entire booking strategy out here. It's not like I'm looking to curate people that are coming to bring drama. This is someone that was booked well in advance. And, I don't ask anyone's permission. Can I bring this person on? Right. Should I bring this person on? If anything, I'm here to have completely different voices, completely different opinions, so you can formulate who you agree with and who you disagree with. All good. I've hosted debates with our friend Rollo versus other people. All good. Let you decide who the winner is. Again, I respect what Rollo's doing. But here's the problem I have. So Rollo, I guess, has a problem with this guy, John Anthony. When I tell you I had no clue that they had drama, I had no idea. Now, is it on me to do my research? Yeah, it's on me to do research on the subject that I'm interviewing.
Right.
But I don't know every single thing that happened, especially, wait for it, something that happened years ago or 10 years ago. That's not my job. I'm not an investigative reporter.
Right.
I host a show. So whatever happened with Rollo and this guy John, it is what it is. It has nothing to do with me.
Right.
Now, what does have to do with me is when you start making comments in the chat and you chose not to read them.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah.
You didn't clear it with me.
Right.
I wasn't like, no, don't read his chats.
Right.
I think Rollo contributed what? Like
I think it was like $60.
$60?
$50, yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to ruin a show or you're not going to ruin a show or have someone be completely uncomfortable for $60. For $600, okay? You chose to refrain from reading it for whatever the reason was.
Right.
Okay? I mean, it's just something...
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I feel like when we have a panel on, it's supposed to, we want it to be a place where people can come and feel comfortable and express their point of view. And whatever drama you have with whoever we have on, that's between you and that person. And I hold value in having a platform. Like, we've had so many people come on and say, thank you for making me feel comfortable where I can speak my truth. And I hold that to such a high standard. And, you paid for the super chats. The chat can see your super chat, For me to sit here and read whatever your issue is with him, and then I'm reading it very confused on like what's going on, that's whatever issue you have with that gentleman. And if you want to address that on your channel and, share that story, you're more than welcome to do so. That's the beautiful thing about freedom of speech. But, we have this platform where we want to allow people with different opinions, people who are canceled, people who don't have a voice to have a voice. Like, look at Tate. Tate has been canceled, shot down, and all this stuff, and whatever his stuff is in the closet, and okay, he hasn't done the same thing that maybe this guy has done, whatever it is. At the end of the day, it's having the ability to have a platform where people can come and speak their truth. And hey, you know, if you want to come on and you want to do a debate and you want to have a conversation, we love that. We want to have that. But for us to come and for me to read chats where I'm reading it about someone's past and whatever beef you have with them, like, I'm not here to relieve your beef. That's for you to do, you know? So, and here as a brand, we don't come in, okay, let's bring these people on so that we can get, you know, people mad. And like I had no idea about the drama until I started reading the chats. And you could probably see in the episode, I'm like, I'm not sure, because it made me uncomfortable. It literally physically made me uncomfortable that I'm reading drama between you and this gentleman. And it's like, as much as we're like, you know, men don't have emotion and men don't have this, it's like, it was the highest level of emotion I've seen like these gentlemen have. And it's like, why do we have to be brought into whatever issue you guys have? Yeah. And, you know, we respect you guys, you know, whatever your content is, you guys do your thing. You know, we've done content with you, Rolo. Like, there's no beef between us and you. Like, we literally have no beef with you and your brand and what you do. If anything, we give you props. Even to this day, it's like we quote something, we're like, shout out to Rolo. Like, there's no beef between us and you. And if you want to curate the beef and cause something between us and you, like, that's on you, bro. Like, you are more than welcome to do so, but we're not going to sit here and jump on the bandwagon like, oh, forget you, Rolo, like, you suck. Like, that's not what we're here for. No. That's not what we're doing. That's not what we want to represent. And we want to continue to hold that respect of having having guests come on and be able to speak their truth. Yeah. So,
all right.
So let me just wrap up with this, because, you know, this was something that, again, I wasn't even aware of with the super chats. Nat reads the super chats every single episode. This is not my beef. Right. If anything, I've had a very respectful relationship with Rolo. Yeah. To this day, so, I still don't have beef with him.
You said you did some research, right? Okay. Exhibit A. John Anthony lifestyle. Oh, there, my good sir. There seems like there is some legal issues. It seems like Mr. Anthony has some court cases. I don't even have to, I just Googled. This is just Google. Scroll down. I'm like, oh, okay. What? Trans positive? Oh, found out he's a dude fucker. He likes chicks with dicks. Then I find out, oh shit, this guy has some court cases. Interesting. There's a few of them. Oh, wow. There's some other cases. What other cases? This type of case. What is this? Wow, this is interesting. You're saying you didn't see any of this stuff when you were doing your investigating? I mean, I don't understand how this didn't pop up. You know, I mean, just look at this. I mean, I didn't write this. This has nothing to do with me. So this is someone else wrote this. This dates back to 2016. Who was the pickup instructor charged with rape? You know, I don't know what transpired with this case at all. Okay. But what I do know is that this was the individual that you said you did research on, okay, before you brought him on. So, and this is just a quick Google search, dude. I just did it while I was watching your video again. So then you knew the character of this individual. You knew that this individual had some pretty ugly skeletons in his closet, right? So, and you guys did not think that was going to come up. You really did not think that his past, which I don't know if he has addressed or is avoiding, you know, but if it's, you know, not addressed, and the reason why he's living in Brazil is to avoid it, then that's going to be rather interesting, right? So therefore, a quick Google search Wow. There's this whole case right here about him right here. Interesting. This guy fled America. I mean, let's just call it that. After reading some of this here, this guy obviously was involved or charged or accused of something. Another instructor found efficient pickup blank was convicted of a lesser charge, conspiracy to commit coercion based on a case in Las Vegas, and is still advertising why efficient pickup methods is better than other companies. Okay. So basically, I'm not going to get into it, but obviously something happened with this individual. He took a lesser deal. He took a lesser charge than what he was facing. And it was something involving a female, and it was not appropriate. It was not good whatsoever. Okay. But I mean, this is just a quick Google search, and you should have seen this. So you don't have to go back 5-10 years for anything. This was just right here. It was right here. So when you say, like, you know, you're not doing a long, deep 10 years research. It wasn't even 10 years. It was only from 2017. So what's that? 6 years? So not exactly 10. All right. So that's not really honest, dude. Because I just did that right now and I saw that. So since I just saw that and I just did a quick, Google search on this guy, and I'm not interviewing him, I'm not having him on my show, it's pretty believable that you probably ran across that too. And you saw that the character of this individual. Now, you may say, well, I didn't want to judge him for his past. I didn't want to bring up his past. Whatever. If he took care of it, he took care of it. Fine. That's fine. But you have to at least acknowledge that you knew who you brought on. This is where it's questionable for me. Because I don't know the why. Because everybody knows who this guy is. And he has a lot of questions to answer to people. I mean, from what I understand, one of his guys that he was teaching how to be a pickup artist is serving time because he was following his instructions. And that's the kind of person you brought onto your show. I mean, you said you don't care whether or not Rollo talks shit about you. That's whatever. You don't like the fact that he's talking about your boss. Your boss, you said your boss is a stand-up dude. Got it. And you said, well, really, you know what? It's the value entertainment. He's trying to taint the brand. I understand this 100%. But why would you think, if you were that concerned about the brand, why would you think that bringing on a guy that has a history of that was abusing women. So little words. That was a sexual issue with a woman. And you're going to say that you felt you're cool with this dude who had this dark situation involving women, right? Doing something to a woman. You're cool with him coming on your show. So that guy, that's good for your brand. That's good for the valuetainment, right? Because I don't think that's what you guys would say publicly. But you bringing him on, that must be what you're telegraphing to everybody. So my question is like, if I did that quick little search and I saw that, that means you saw that. So is it really about the brand? Really, is it really about the brand, or is that just, something that you're supposed to say to look like you're a team player? I'm just curious. All right. And I'm not sending shots at you. I'm just asking because it doesn't line up. You're so concerned about the brand, but you didn't do your due diligence in your research to find out who you were actually bringing on, to see whether or not this individual is even complementary to the brand. All right. So fine, moving on. Let's get to the super chat problem. Because this is where I told you the super chat's going to come back up again. If you choose that you're not going to read the super chats because you don't feel a certain way, you don't feel comfortable, Natalia, in reading these super chats because, one, you don't really know what it's about, but you're reading things and you're seeing words that are like, oh my gosh, you're caught off guard, right? And you don't want to read them. No one can force you to. But don't you think that you do have the obligation to tell your viewers that they should stop sending in the super chats? That way they don't have to, so that way they don't have to keep on wasting their money. Because, I mean, let's face it, you were taking their money still, but not answering their questions. Is that okay? Because apparently Natalia thinks it's okay. I mean, because Natalia even said, like, you guys are still being able to read the super chats in the chat. Well, that's not what they're for. Nobody pays for chatting with other people in the chat already. Why would I pay to send a chat when I could send that same chat if I wanted to chat to the chat room, if I wanted their attention? Why would I pay for a specific chat when I could send one to them for free and they all still see it? Does that make sense? Why would I pay for a chat when it's already free? But to get your attention, I'm paying for a chat so it lights up, so you guys are aware, like, hey, this viewer paid their money, their hard-earned money, to get your attention to address something that they want you to talk about. Okay? And in return, this is how it's supposed to work. I don't know if there's a law for it or anything, but this is a universal thing. Okay, so it's like I send in a super chat. My super chat either has a question or a statement. What do, Nat? You, at time for super chat time, you take out the phone and guess what? You read the super chats, and then when you say, you go, "Hi, Beating Cheeks," because Beating Cheeks says, "Hi, Nat." And then you go, "Hi, Beating Cheeks." So you do this. This is something that you do. This is part of this agreement between the viewer and you, where the viewer pays you money to answer or address something that they're saying in the chat. All right. But so when you fail to do what you're supposed to do, because they paid, they were getting your attention, obviously, and you chose not to address the questions. And yes, if you want to say Rolo's was $60, that's fine. If Rolo's just totaled $60, so be it. But see, Rolo wasn't the only one asking a whole lot of questions. Because I've seen guys drop $100, $50 in super chats, and they're asking very similar questions. revolving what happened in Las Vegas that he, had a charge for, that he was involved. What they were asking about the case in Las Vegas that involved a woman that was not treated properly. Okay. And you didn't want to address it. And you said you want to, create an environment where your guests could feel comfortable. Okay, that's fine. No problem. Then you should have told everybody to stop super chatting. You should have done the right thing by your viewers. You should have made them stop super chatting, say, hey guys, you know what? At this point, with the super chats that we're getting, and due to the nature of the context, we're going to stop super chatting. We're not going to accept any more super chats for the rest of this episode. I'm sorry. That's what we're going to do. Instead of letting them continue to send super chats just so you guys could continue to collect money. How fucked up is that? That's pretty fucked up. All right. Where's the integrity at? Now, I don't think that you guys sent a refund or found some way to give that money back to those people that you refused to read their super chats. Because yeah, sure, Rolo's was $60, but I guarantee there was at least, I don't know, $700 to maybe $1,500 worth of super chats that you guys did not read. And I'm wondering, as a viewer, because I enjoy the show, as a viewer, how are you going to take care of that problem? Because you think you guys just kind of swept this one under the rug. All right, you kind of swept the fact that you purposely ignored chats that people pay for. So how are you going to remedy that? Because you guys obviously owe them something. Because that's not right. Where's the integrity at for that? I mean, you guys are doing a podcast, okay? This is like ghetto journalism, all right? You guys are talking about topics and stories. It's like an opinion piece, right? But when you are engaging in seeking some level of truth, and let me clarify now, we can't do this your truth, my truth, stuff. There's only one truth. There's always only been one truth. Okay, so let's not let people do this whole thing that we're going to come share my truth. No. You could share the truth, or you could share your version of the lie that you want to believe is true. Either way, let's clarify what it is. But moving on, if you want them to just to feel good, then you should only get people that you don't have to worry that your audience is going to come up with questions about that you don't want to address. And you need to have, the courage, and, if your conviction says, I'm not going to read these chats, then you need to be able to address that to your audience right then and there. Hey guys, not reading these. Okay. Don't send any more supers in if they're going to be regarding the things that I'm already seeing. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't want to address it, you could be very vague. He already knows. Because as soon as do you think that guy did not know that those chats were coming in there? Do you think people forgot about what, he was involved in? No, there's no way in hell. Okay, he's been getting those questions ever since the damn thing happened. Trust me. And for someone to take a lesser plea for a case, because let me tell you something. I know what false allegations are. And when you're falsely accused of something, especially in that nature, you don't take no fucking plea. You ride that bitch all the way through. You're going to prove you're right. You're going to prove that you're innocent. You're not going to take no deal. But who would take a deal? Typically, people that already know that they kind of did fuck up, that they did fuck up, they did do something wrong. And they will take a deal so they don't have to serve the full sentence. So just from that, because the article said something about him taking a lesser, he took a deal or he took a lesser charge or whatever. You knew he did something wrong. That's all I got to say about that. So you think that this guy that's known for this situation is going to come on your show, and you really think that nobody in the world is going to be commenting or bringing this up? I mean, you guys do know the red pill space is not that huge. It's really not. There's a whole bunch of loudmouths in there and some weirdos, but it's really not that huge of a space. So if everybody kind of has heard of everybody, so then when they see or hear that you're bringing this guy on, everybody's already knowing exactly what this guy did. And they're probably going to want to ask some questions about it. So come on now. You guys would have known that. Okay, because I'm going to give you an out a little. This is a little bit of an out. But it's not going to look good for Sauce. Okay? Because Sauce, it's like, okay, either you didn't do your homework at all. Maybe you looked at his Instagram and you're like, oh, cool. But you didn't do your due diligence in your research on figuring out who this individual was. Because that's the only way I could think about it. Because if you didn't know exactly who he was by doing a proper research, and I didn't even do a proper research and I found it. So not even a good half-ass research. You know, you must not have done much. Because if you did, I'm not sure you guys would you would bring him on. It would be that's a really bad look for your brand. Okay, to have this guy on there that's, has an incident that is not good, and you're going to bring him on your stage and let him talk about how many other women that he banged. Like, oh yeah, he's bragging around that he's banged 1,500 women. But how many of them did he do legitimate? Because now there's a question about, one, his interaction with women because of this situation over there. But two, well, you can't count them all women. So maybe it's like, I don't know, 500 and 1,000 dudes with tits. I'm kidding. I don't know the guy. I have no issue with him. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're really concerned about the brand, then you need to be concerned about who you put on your stage and who you are, connecting with, who you are doing content with. So here's your out. Sauce, you must have been not doing your job. Absolutely not. You fucking dropped the ball, homie. You dropped the ball. You didn't do your work. And then you brought on a guy that you had no knowledge of his past and how much it has impacted, apparently, this space. All right. And so by not being prepared and not knowing who you're bringing on, you set yourselves up for failure. And then when all the stuff started coming in the chat, since none of you were prepared or expected this to happen, Nat did what she thought was best, and just to ignore the chats. Okay, and that's fine. But for what you're trying to do right now is that you guys are trying to frame up this entire thing to be completely based around Rolo beef with the guy from Brazil and what the guy from Brazil did to Rolo. And, you know, that is part of it. But if you really look at the entirety of it, that's not it. And for you to really try to just make it all about $60 and you having some guy that Rolo doesn't like on your show, that's dishonest. And you know that. You both know that. So, Nat, for you to be like, hey, you know, we're not here to get in between your guys' problems. That's your guys' problem. You guys need to handle that shit. Absolutely. 100. I agree with you. But don't make it seem like this whole issue was about that. I can tell you right now, Rolo doesn't give two shits about $60. Okay, he cares about the principle of the matter. Okay, he cares about the fact that you had viewers dropping big dollars in there to get you guys to interact and respond to what they were saying, because it obviously affected a lot of people, but you chose not to, and you chose to cower it out and not even address the viewers about it, and you chose to keep their money. So that's bad business all the way around. So before you go trying to make it look any different, can we at least address that part of it? Because I really think, like I said, I'm bringing the extra seasonings that you're missing out of your marinara sauce. Now, I really think that you need to start talking about why you guys didn't, you know, be accurate 100%. I mean, is it because you want to save face? Is there a little bit of embarrassment? I don't know. But from somebody that actually knows exactly what happened, because I was watching this in real time. And then I was at Sticky Paw Studio with Rolo and Sartain the day that they were reading the super chats. You know, I was in that stream with them. Because I remember what you said, Nat. Oh, where are the super chats? They just disappeared. They're gone. No, that was a lie. So there's an integrity issue here. Because you are not being entirely accurate. And iron sharpens iron. I like your guys' show. You know, I like the things that you guys do. It's cool. You know, I'm the one that wants to debate Ricky Red Pill. I'm the one that sent that chat in. I said, hey, set that up. You set that up. I'll bring RP Thor and he'll sit down. RP Thor won't debate. He doesn't get in that. I do the correct thing over here. That's just my lane. But, you know, I would love to work with you guys. But when I watched last night, and then I heard the things that you guys were saying and the way that you guys were framing it up to be, you have to acknowledge that was dishonest or misleading at best. And I think that the viewers deserve to know exactly everything. So the ball's in your court, guys. I mean, I have no beef with you. I just want everybody to be 100 on the board. Because I guarantee you, Rolo's going to make a response to this. Not my video, but your video. And you know damn well that's going to be a 5-hour stream for your ass. And there's going to be bullet points and there's going to be detailed things. And he's going to use some big ass words like superfluous and other words that I don't even know that I have to write down and look up later. All right. So if we could just avoid that, let's do that. Because he could do a better stream about, like, I don't know. What's another good stream? I really want him to do the stream about religion again. I think that would be really good. But that's just because that's up my alley. But anyways, yeah, he could do a stream about whatever the case is. He doesn't have to do a stream about your situation if you guys would just address the situation properly. And I really do want to know, like, I really do want to know if you guys have a solution to how to repay your viewers the money for the super chats that they paid for you to read that you guys refuse to read. Because again, that if I'm paying for something and I don't get what I'm paying for, then I'm getting my money back, or I'm getting, comped or something. Something. I'm not giving away money like that for nothing. So for you guys to think, Nat, and I don't mean to be coming at you, but you're the one that said it. For you to think that, you send in super chats and the people in the chat get to read it. That's not who's supposed to read it. And you know that. So don't play that game. Don't play that game. People pay for super chats, you read the super chats. Unless the content in the super chat breaks the community guidelines. That's another thing. Then I could see you guys saying, hey, you guys, I don't feel comfortable reading this. This thing I think breaks the guidelines. You tell so-and-so, hey, don't be sending chats like that because I don't feel comfortable and I think it might get us a strike or whatever. That's fine. But you say it. Don't just keep on taking their money. So yeah, how are you guys going to address your fans who paid for super chats that you guys did not read because they paid for a service that you failed to do intentionally? I would love to know your remedy for that. So, Sauce and Nat, I'm sorry that this has to be the way that we first interact. But I like to keep things 100, keep them a buck, and there's no hard feelings. I'm just being real with you. And I hope you guys could appreciate it. Hey, Adam, I'm just trying to sharpen you up, bro. Iron sharpens iron. So when I drop the ball, if you want to get in my ass, please do. Not literally, because that's the John Anthony thing. I don't want that in the real sense, but I'm just saying, if you want to come at me and correct me, be my guest. All right. Keep that tranny fucker away, though. All right. So now that's done. Moving on. Who's next? Yeah. All right, Timon and Pumbaa. You're next.